Okay, so by 2025, our planet is going to be home to over 8 billion people. Now, a number that big, it's almost meaningless, right? It's so huge, it's hard to grasp. But hidden behind that single number are these powerful stories of change, growth, and decline that are completely reshaping our world. So let's dig in and find them.
And there it is, 8,230,000,000. According to the projections, that's how many of us will be on this planet in 2025. Seriously, just try to wrap your head around that. It's pretty much impossible. But that number represents the grand total of all of us.
You know, a single number doesn't really tell you much, does it? It doesn't show you which countries are booming, which ones are shrinking, or how the very center of human population is shifting under our feet. So that's what we're going to do. Let's break it down and find those stories.
All right, our first story is a huge one. I mean, it's monumental. A change that has just happened at the very, very top of the list, rewriting centuries of what we thought we knew about demographics. Think about this. For as long as anyone has kept modern records, China has been the world's most populous nation. It was just a fact of life. Well, that era is officially over. In 2023, the torch was passed. India is now #1, and that marks a really profound shift in the global landscape.
And this isn't just a temporary thing. Not at all. The projections for 2025 show India pulling even further ahead. We're talking roughly 1.46 billion people, compared to China at just under 1.42 billion. What used to be a neck-and-neck race is now becoming a pretty clear lead.
In fact, India's lead is expected to be about 48 million people. To put that number into perspective for you, that's basically the entire population of a country like Spain. That's the gap that's opened up in just a couple of years. It's pretty wild. So, the story at the very top is clear. Now, let's zoom out a bit. Let's go from the two biggest countries and look at the bigger picture, the continental story. Where on Earth does humanity actually live?
Well, the sheer dominance of one continent is staggering. Asia is home to 59% of all people on Earth. Just let that sink in. Nearly 3 out of every 5 people on this entire planet live in Asia. It is, by a huge margin, the world's demographic heavyweight.
But here's where the story takes a turn. Because the current snapshot, the total number of people right now, that doesn't really tell us about the future. For that, we have to follow the growth. And the engine of global population growth, it is decisively shifted.
And here is that engine. Africa's population is growing at an absolutely astonishing rate of 2.4% per year. So while other continents are slowing down, some even shrinking, Africa is just expanding rapidly. It's on track to dramatically reshape the world's demographic makeup for the rest of this century.
But not every story is about growth. In fact, one of the most important trends of our time is the complete opposite. It's the story of countries that have stopped growing altogether. So let's be super clear about what this means. A population peak isn't just a slowdown. No, it's that critical turning point, the moment a country hits its all-time high population, and then begins a long, steady decline. This is usually driven by things like lower birth rates and aging populations.
And look, this isn't some abstract concept for the distant future. It's happening right now. If you look at the world's 20 biggest countries, major powers like Russia, Japan, and Germany have already passed their population peak. They are now shrinking.
So the really crucial point here is that this is becoming a widespread global thing. Right now, 63 countries are already post-peak. And get this, in the next 30 years or so, another 48 countries are expected to join them. This story of decline is every bit as important as the story of growth.
Okay, for our last story, let's just take a moment to appreciate the incredible, almost mind-boggling scale of it all, from the giants with over 1 billion people, all the way down to the smallest communities on the list.
Just look at this contrast. It's amazing. At the top, you've got India and China, each with over 1.4 billion citizens. Then you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list, and you find places like Nu, Tokelau, and the Holy See, with populations measured not in millions, but in the hundreds. The entire range of human society, from these sprawling nations to tiny city-states, it's all captured right here.
So as we wrap this up, here's something to think about. Our world is still growing, adding about 70 million more people this year alone. But which of these stories we've talked about is going to define our future the most? Will it be the new leadership of India, the explosive growth of Africa, or the quiet, steady decline of dozens and dozens of nations? That's the real question these numbers leave us with.